welcome to today's video. I decided pretty last minute that I wanted to go ahead and just do a fun, cozy fall vlog. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow is actually the first day of fall, so I figured it was the perfect time to just do something fun and cozy. I have quite a few fall books on my TBR that I'm dying to get to. There are a few more like decorations and just fall goodies that I want to pick up. And I also have a few more books on my radar that I would like to pick up. So as of today, it is now almost 9 o'clock at night, so I have unfortunately done a terrible job of vlogging. I do have quite a few things that I want to do tomorrow, so I definitely want to make a trip to my library. I do also have plans to stop at Barnes & Noble because there are a couple books that I am so eager to pick up, so you will see what books I am looking to pick up tomorrow. And then I also just want to stop in maybe either at like Home Goods or TJ Maxx. I just think there's a couple little goodies that I could potentially pick up just to spruce up the place. And I would also like to get some candles. I just recently had a new Bath & Body Works open up very close to me, so I'm hoping to pop into there and pick up a couple new candles for the home. So since it is so late in the evening, I just thought I would go ahead and touch base on what I've been reading and then what I am in the middle of right now. I did end up finishing a book last night on my way home from work. I work third shift. I guess it's kind of a hybrid between second and third shift, but I do work overnight, so my hours are usually a little bit crazy as far as what time I get off work, what time I'm getting home, and honestly what time I usually start my day. I am definitely not a typical 9 to 5 worker. Most of the time, by the time I get home and into bed, it is a lot of times 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, so my day usually doesn't actually start until around noon or sometimes a little bit later. But anyways, the book that I finished last night was The Night Guest by, I'm probably going to pronounce this incorrectly, but Hildur Notsduder. And this was a short horror novella. I believe it's been categorized mainly as horror. I have said before that I am not really a horror girly. I get scared very easily. I feel like I'm the type of person that if I get scared, I actually need to leave the lights on. So I will say that this one was definitely spooky and very like eerie and haunting, but I didn't feel like the scare value was up there too high. I do think it was more just unsettling. Let me back up and tell you what this is actually about. So this is a horror novella where we are following Ethan, and again, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I was listening to this on audiobook, and the cool thing about this is that this is an author who is actually from Iceland. So this is actually a book that is translated from Icelandic to English, which I think is really cool. I have not read a whole lot of translated work, so I was really excited to read this one. I will say too on that note that I thought the translation was great. I never had any issues with like not understanding what they were saying or that the translation was ever like off, at least in my opinion. But this is basically a book where we follow Ethan, who is a early 30-something woman who basically in the beginning of the book is seeking help from a medical professional because she is having just a rough time. She is sleeping, but she is not feeling rested whatsoever. She wakes up every day, every single day, feeling just absolutely worn down. She's not only just fatigued, but she feels like she's been like running a marathon. Like her muscles ache and she constantly is in pain. And things kind of continue to get weirder and weirder from there. There are days where she will wake up and she will find bruises on her body. She also wakes up and her hair is wet, and she says that she feels like she smells like the ocean. And so I really enjoyed this one for the most part. This is only about a 3-hour audiobook, and it did read incredibly fast. There is 100 chapters in this 3-hour audiobook, so to say that it flies by is probably an understatement. And I really did enjoy it. I loved the creepy tone to this story. I really was on the edge of my seat to see what was going to happen next, because it seemed like every time she fell asleep and woke up the next day, we were just learning new things and like strange happenings that had been going on. So I really was so eager to see where this story was going. But I will say that I was a little bit let down by the ending, so I am struggling a little bit with what my rating will be. I honestly thought this was going to be a 5-star. Again, the writing was really good, but the ending left a little bit to be desired. I think that the ending was a little bit too open-ended, and it was pretty confusing, given that yes, it is a short book. The ending just happened. Like, it was so abrupt, and I don't feel like enough was explained to the reader as far as what happened and where we were going. So I definitely would still recommend this. I do think that if you like horror, even if you are a scaredy cat like me, I do think that you would still really enjoy this one. But I will say that there is a chance that you might be let down by the ending, and there is a very strong trigger warning for abuse/death to animals, specifically cats. So if you have any issues with that, which I understand a lot of people do, I would probably steer clear of this one. I will say it's not really on page. There's nothing like graphically described or anything like that, but definitely just a warning out there for anyone who has an issue with that. So still struggling on my rating. I think that I would probably rate this one somewhere between 3.5 to 4 stars. Hopefully by the end of the video, maybe I will land on a rating and update you on what I feel. But I did end up starting a new book today. This one is on my September TBR. If you checked out that video, you will have seen me briefly talk about this one on that video. But I did end up starting Cherry Pie or Die by C.C. James. This is a cozy mystery. It says it's part of the Baker Street mystery, which I'm not sure how many books are out, but I think there's at least 4 or 5. And I am really enjoying this one so far. I'm only like 15% of the way into it, but we essentially are following a woman named Georgia. She used to be a paralegal in Pittsburgh, I believe, but the death of her grandma brought her back to the town that she used to live in. I'm actually struggling to remember the name of the town, but essentially she and her aunt, she calls her her aunt, but it is essentially her grandma's best friend, Cecilia, runs a bed and breakfast, which she has invited Georgia to come back and work for her at. And Georgia is basically in charge of running errands and helping Cecilia around the property, but she also does tour guides for historic landmarks that are in the area, because this place that they live in is very well known for having a lot of ties to the Revolutionary War. And I'm not really a big history buff, but I will say like the little sprinklings of history and the Revolutionary War that they talked about so far, I have found very interesting. And essentially we're following a group of characters who are currently staying at the bed and breakfast, and during a tour that Georgia takes them on to the Three Maidens Manor, which is a historic landmark in the town. They are going on the tour with the tour guide. When they go downstairs into the root cellar, she is having a hard time finding the light switch. At first, it looks like one of the light bulbs has burned out, but then when she tries to reach for the switch on one of the lamps, she is having a hard time getting it to turn on. And then all of a sudden, there is a big flash of light and a boom, and the guests all freak out and scream, not knowing what's going on. And then when they are finally able to get a light source back on, they realize that one of the guests, Mr. Green, has been stabbed in the chest with some kind of metal object. So I love this kind of story. I have never read from C.C. James before, but I'm really enjoying her writing style so far. It's just a very quick, easy read, and this is obviously kind of like a closed door mystery. We have just barely been introduced to the rest of the characters in the story, so I'm really eager to kind of start peeling back the layers and seeing what type of ties these characters have with one another, and obviously what secrets they are holding to explain why this man was murdered in the middle of the day at a tour. So really enjoying that. I honestly think that that is probably what I'm going to focus on for the rest of the evening. I do want to get started on a new audiobook. The Night Guest was the audiobook that I was listening to. So now I'm struggling to decide what to start next. I have 2 or 3 options. I did decide to change up my TBR a little bit. I was originally going to read The Dead Zone by Stephen King, but my friend decided to throw me a little bit of a bone, and she recently read Joyland and enjoyed it and thought that it was a story that I would enjoy. So I did decide to swap out The Dead Zone for Joyland for my September TBR, because Joyland, I believe, is like a third of the size of The Dead Zone. So I thought that I had a much more likely chance to get to it and finish it this month than I would have reading The Dead Zone. I do still want to read that for her, but it's probably not going to happen this month. So my options are Joyland. I do have I'm a Fan, which I cannot think of the author's name right now. I did see this one recently on a Gabby Reads video, and it just sounded really interesting, kind of like a obsession story about a woman who essentially finds out that the man that she is sleeping with someone else, and she becomes like hyper fixated on this woman and wanting to know about her life. And that one's a super short audio as well. I think that one's only like 5 or 6 hours. So I think that might be the one that I start with, because I think I will feel a lot more accomplished if I can knock out some of these shorter reads. So I am going to focus on the Cherry Pie or Die book tonight, but maybe I can start the audiobook tomorrow. So I think that's it for tonight, and I will check in with you in the morning. So it is officially Sunday now, and like I was saying yesterday, I have a few errands to run today. Like I had mentioned yesterday, I just got coffee from Dutch Bros, which I have not been to Dutch Bros in a number of months, but I honestly couldn't think of where I wanted to go today. And so I was just driving by, actually on my way to Barnes & Noble, and saw that there was a Dutch Bros. I always forget this location is here because it's a fairly new location, but I did get one of their fall drinks. This is the caramel pumpkin brulee, pumpkin caramel breve, something like that. But it looks phenomenal. It has like the sweet top foam and then caramel drizzle on the top, and I'm really excited to try it. So let's do it together. It is good. I was honestly thinking it was going to be a lot more sweet, which it's probably a good thing that it's not, so that I don't get like sick of it too fast, but it is really tasty. So yay to Dutch Bros. All right, so now that I have my coffee, the next stop is the library, which is very close to here. I just have some books to drop off. I'm honestly not going to go inside. I'm always tempted to run in, but I have so many books right now that I need to get to. I've already made my September TBR, and those books are fairly set for me as far as what I want to read. So I feel like it's probably better just to not go in, because I oftentimes just kind of like impulse grab, and I need to get through the books I have already. So we're going to go ahead and drop some books off at the library, and then we're going to head to Barnes & Noble. So let's get going. everyone. It is a couple of hours later since I was out running around and doing my errands, picking up the fall goodies that I was hoping to find, and so I wanted to go ahead and show you what I picked up. I didn't go overboard. I did just pick up a handful of items, but I wanted to be mindful of what I already have and not just buy things because they're cute. I have a tendency to just like impulse buy, so I did pick up just a couple of things. So I guess let's just jump in and I will go ahead and show you. Alright, so the first stop that I made was to Barnes & Noble. I will be very honest, I was very stingy while I was here. I have been thrifting quite a bit lately, as well as going to places like half-price books. So it's been a minute since I've been in Barnes & Noble, and like we all know, I know that books can be expensive and it is an art form, so I definitely understand paying the authors for their work and the time that they put into these books, but my gosh, some of these books the prices are just getting crazy. You cannot hardly find a hardcover for under $30. And even paperback, some of the romances that I was looking at were like $18, $19. I think I even saw one for like $22. So again, I fully want to support authors and, make sure that we're paying them for the effort and the work that they're doing. But for today, I decided to be a little bit more cautious with how I was spending. And so I actually only picked up 2 books. I thought I did really well, actually. I got really lucky because these books ended up being buy one, get one half off. And also shout out to my Barnes & Noble because technically only one of them had the buy one, get one half off sticker on the like table display that I saw. But I had been previously looking on their website and I saw that this one was also listed as buy one, get one half off. And the cashier was so sweet and honored it for me since it was on the website. So that was really cool. But let me show you what I got. I also brought my own tote bag. I felt cute for doing that. This was the tote bag that I got when I saw Ashley Winstead in Scottsdale. This was part of their tour, so super cute. Also, I'm pretty sure you just saw the first book through the bag, but that's okay. So the first of the books that I picked up was The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I did pick up her other book, A Novel Love Story, a couple of weeks ago, and I was really eager to pick that one up. I just haven't been able to fit it on my TBR just yet, but I am really excited to read from her. She seems to be a very well-beloved author, and I do think that The Dead Romantics and The 7-Year Slip are probably the 2 of her books that are the most popular, so I am really eager to get to this. I am a little bit concerned because I do think it's going to be a touch sad just from the reviews that I've been hearing, and also kind of given the title, it sounds like it might be a little deeper and more thought-provoking, but I do think that this is one that I can really enjoy and that has been very well loved so far. And then the second book that I got was the one that I was actually very surprised was part of the buy one, get one half off sale, because this one just came out a couple of weeks ago, and that is Daydream by Hannah Grace. This one has been all over Bookstagram lately, and I've been seeing everyone absolutely eat it up. I do think that this is the one in the series that people have been enjoying the most, and I just absolutely love the cover. If you saw my most anticipated reads for the fall, this was on that video, and so I'm just so excited to read the story about Henry and Hallie, and I just think I'm going to absolutely eat it up. I really am slacking though. I will be completely honest that I own all 3 books in this interconnected series so far, and I have yet to read any of them, but I do think it's going to be a series that I really enjoy. I think that the books just continue to get better and better from the reviews that I've been hearing. It seemed like people liked Icebreaker. I don't think everyone loved it, but I do think most people enjoyed Wildfire better. And then the people that have read the 3rd book, Daydream, this seems to be for sure the favorite of the series. So I just cannot wait. This book is so cute and so precious, and the colors are giving everything. All right, and then moving on, my next stop, I ended up going to Kohl's. This wasn't initially on my to-do list of places to stop, but I did have an Amazon return that I needed to take back, and this place was close to where I live, so I figured I would just pop in, do my return. But they did have a cute little section of Halloween goodies. They had towels and signs and mugs and all of that kind of stuff. So the first thing that I got at Kohl's was a graphic tee, and my whole family really likes peanuts, but my dad especially, and so I have a special place in my heart for all things peanuts and Snoopy. So I did pick up this graphic tee. Hopefully you can see it, but it is just Snoopy taking a nap on a pumpkin, and I just thought it was super cute. Their graphic tees were on sale for $10, so I was actually able to pick up that one, and then I got a graphic tee for my son as well, and they were $5 off each, so that was great. And then while I was checking out the Halloween section, I actually saw these little LED lights, and so I absolutely knew I had to pick one up because I thought it would just be so cute on my bookshelf. But it's this little pumpkin. They had pumpkins, and then they also had a couple of ghosts, but I did think the pumpkin was a little bit cuter, and I think this is so sweet, and I think it's gonna look great. Either I can put it on my desk or back on my bookshelf, but I haven't put the batteries in just yet, so I'm not sure quite how bright it is, but I was really excited to find this, and it was only $8. And then the last stop that I made was to Bath & Body Works. I think I briefly mentioned before that they just opened a new shop up in my area, and so I did swing by, and it actually ended up being perfect timing. I always get a little bit nervous because as much as I love their candles, they can be very expensive and they add up really quickly. But I was pleasantly surprised to see that all their 3-wick candles were actually $10, I think it was $10 off. So instead of $26, they rang up at $16, which I thought was a really good deal. And I did, of course, find a couple of scents that I love. So the first one that I got is Leaves, which is one of my favorites. I have always really enjoyed this scent, and it did have the little leaf print on it, which I think is just so pretty. I also really enjoyed, they had a couple different designs for the Leaves candles, but I thought this one was just so cute with the little homes and the gardens, and of course, it just smells so good. That one's such a staple. I hope that they never get rid of it. And then the other one that I got is in the same kind of like style. I will say that of the pumpkin scents, this one was by far my favorite, and I think it's because it had the most true pumpkin smell to it. I found that a lot of the other scents were mixed with something much sweeter, and I didn't seem to like those scents quite as much because I feel like it masked the pumpkin scent a lot more, which I really actually enjoy. So this one is called Pumpkin Clove. And this, honestly, the design on it is what sold me. Like, I did really love the scent, but I think that the display on the candle itself is just absolutely adorable. And this one is, like I said, more spicy because it has that clove scent in it, but I do feel like it has the most actual, like, natural scent of pumpkin to it as well. So those were my finds. Got some candles, got a t-shirt, got some books. I think all in all I did really well, and honestly I didn't spend too much money, so that's a win in my book as well. But yeah, it is pretty late in the evening at this point. I think we're nearing 8 o'clock. I'm getting ready to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner, and then I do have a little more reading that I would like to get in this evening. I did not get as much reading done last night as I would have liked to. I find that I think about reading all day long, and it's something that I'm always looking forward to at the end of the evening, but I don't know if anyone can relate, but as soon as I get into bed, it's like all the energy just completely drains from me. And I guess that's a good thing because that means that I'm cozy and that my bed is comfortable, but it is very frustrating because I feel like I lose motivation really quickly because I get so tired. But nevertheless, I did read, I think, another 20% of my cozy mystery book, which is Cherry Pie or Die, and I am still really enjoying that one. I feel like we're starting to learn a little bit more about the characters. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say about it than what I had already talked about, but I am still really enjoying it, and I don't think I will finish it tonight because, again, it's already so late in the evening, but I intend to read a little bit more of that one tonight, and then I will give you kind of like my final wrap up and how far I got into it tomorrow. Hello, so it is actually a couple of days later and I just wanted to take a second to close out this vlog. I completely forgot to do so. I just wanted to give a quick final update on where I got in my cozy mystery. I believe as of Sunday night / Monday morning, I had gotten just shy of the 50% mark. It is honestly a quick read. I wish that I had more time to just truly sit down and dedicate to just like binging the entire thing, because it is a very quick read. I am enjoying the writing. I don't quite know yet if I have like a true prediction, but again, the story is moving along very quickly, so I anticipate finishing that very soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I really appreciate you coming along with me this past weekend and just seeing the things that I was getting up to. I had a really good time just kind of getting out into some of my local stores and picking up some goodies. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you again very soon with another video. Bye!